Hi, Andrew here. And this past week has been interesting. I've had a revelation or two. I lost a very dear old family friend. That also caused a revelation or two. I had a very pleasant chat with my mother because she forgot to tell me. I got a phone call 15 minutes into the funeral. Did anybody tell you that funeral or celebration of life is today between 2 and 4? It was 2:15. No, actually, nobody's officially told me that he's died. Oh. Fortunately, it was in town. Fortunately, I was able to make it before the eulogies. Unfortunately, circumstances meant that I was batching it. My wife was actually taking her mother, her parents out for her mother's birthday. They went up to, and went over to the other city, to next city over for dim sum. And they had a very nice time, but have you ever been to a dim sum restaurant? There's no reservations. People eating it, they pick and pick and pick and pick and pick, and they eat till they're done. You don't have that sort of set time that you know that a party of X will be done in Y amount of time. It doesn't work. They don't take reservations, so they had to go early, so I couldn't be there because I had already had plans for the morning. And so I was doing the gardening work, and I got this phone call from little sis, and she's one of the few people I will pick the phone up immediately because she's a texter, not a phone call person. Anyway, long story short, I found out 15 minutes into the funeral that it was on, and I had time to quickly get, a horse bath, wash the face, do the pits, and get the hell out and get down to the funeral. And I made it. It was all good. But it was a very interesting experience to be rushed into doing something like that. So again, more revelations. I've really, really lost the thread of the plot on this. What I was starting out to talk about was one of the things that I had. I've been noodling. I've been talking about small disciplines and incremental improvement. And over the past year and a half that I've been putting up these videos, one of the things I've talked about is sleep deprivation, sleep problems, and how it ties in with my depression. And I always thought, well, I had a tremendous revelation last fall when I lost 90 minutes of sleep on average per night because I was suicidally depressed. Twice in my life have I been deep in that deep in the hole, and my watch tracks my sleep, and literally you could see the average sleep, and it dropped 90 minutes. And until I was out of that hole 3 months later, it stayed 90 minutes, and I was exhausted. And so the depression was killing my sleep. Well, guess what? It goes the other way. I thought it did, but I wasn't sure. It's important to know your depression triggers. Apparently, losing one of the oldest and dearest friends your parents have ever had, who was completely unrelated to you, non-related, but you called him uncle. He was so close. He was a part of my life for my entire life. I mean, he arrived in town the year I was 1 year old. I wasn't yet 1 year old when they arrived in town. So he's never not been there, and he's not there now. That didn't send me, his death didn't send me into the spiral. But Tuesday, I think, Kid One and I were watching Bones. We have watched different TV shows over the last year or two together, and we just, his brothers are younger, and he's late in his mid to late teens, and so he stays up a little later. So we watch a show it's a little too adult for the little guys, and we've been watching Bones. We were coming to the end of one of the seasons, and we kind of watched an episode too many, and I didn't get to bed till 11 o'clock. Doesn't matter if I get to bed late, still got to get up at the same time, because I have a hard get up time because I got to get him up to make sure he gets to school on time. So I was running on an hour less sleep. I try to be in bed before 10 and 11, 1 hour. And all Wednesday, I could feel the tug. I could feel the depression. It didn't get a hold because I'd had decent sleep in the preceding nights. And last night, I was a very good boy, and I went to bed extra early to make sure that I did get my good night's sleep and that I didn't start to compile sleep deprivation to fall into the pit. But I could already feel it tugging at me after only one poor night's sleep. Your body and your physical health and your mental health are tightly intertwined. I've written extensively on this, but I never thought of it in terms of my depression until this week. Depression causes sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation causes depression. Yay, there's another positive feedback loop. A virtuous cycle that sends me into the pit. Circle back briefly, small disciplines. Andrew, you get up at the same time every day. Get your ass to bed at the same time every day. Make sure you get that 7+ hours of sleep to be prepared. Because if you have the energy to fight the demon. It was an interesting little tidbit of revelation. Thank you very much for watching. That was my time. Now is your time. And in the meantime, take care, get yourself a good night's sleep, and you'll see me soon.